Good day children, Sai Ram and welcome back to our next session of this lesson, Fulfillment of Struggle for Independence. Okay children, in our previous lecture, what have we learned? We have learned about the merger of the princely state Junagadh into India. Okay, then we have also learned about the Hyderabad Mukti Sangram. We had started with the Hyderabad Mukti Sangram. Okay, now let's see how Hyderabad was liberated and merged with India. In July 1947, Hyderabad State Congress passed a resolution for merger of Hyderabad state into India. Okay, in July 1947, Hyderabad State Congress, what they did, they passed a resolution that we want to merge with India. But the Nizam was against it. The Nizam did not want to join with India, did not want to merge with India. He wanted to go and merge with Pakistan, that is East Pakistan. Okay, the Nizam was against this and started making movements, different types of movements start against this, so that the merging of Hyderabad state with India is not possible could not be possible only. For that reason, his associate, that is Qasim Rizvi, okay, Qasim Rizvi, what he did, he formed an organization known as Razakar. Okay, and through this organization, they started oppressing not only the Hindus but also the Muslims who supported the democratic movement. Okay, so this Razakar organization of Qasim Rizvi started oppressing the people so that the people will merge with Pakistan only, not with India. Okay, for that reason they were oppressed. Now the government of India tried to negotiate a lot with the Nizam. Okay, they tried to convince the Nizam a lot, but the Nizam was not ready to listen only. He was not ready to respond only. Okay, he did not want to, he refused to respond. So what happened? Indian government, they took police action against the Nizam. Okay, police action was taken against the Nizam on 13 September 1948. Okay, and it is known as Operation Polo. Okay, so at last, you can see the picture over here of Qasim Rizvi, who was the associate of the Nizam. Finally, the Nizam surrendered on 17 September 1948 and the state of Hyderabad was merged with India. Okay, at last we can say the state of Hyderabad had got its independence. Okay, there was a significant contribution of even the Arya Samaj in this movement. I hope you all remember Arya Samaj. Okay, so there was a contribution of this Arya Samaj also in the liberation of Hyderabad. Okay, now next thing what we are going to learn is what was the contribution of the Marathwada in the struggle for liberation of Hyderabad. As I had told you first only, Hyderabad was a state which was having the Marathwada, the Telangana, okay, the Karnataka, all these provinces were there in the Hyderabad state only. So here, what was the contribution of Marathwada in this in the struggle of liberation of Hyderabad? Because even Marathwada was in the Hyderabad state only, and as you all know, Marathwada was also not given freedom, okay, because it was part of Hyderabad. Okay, so now let's see what was their contribution in this. Along with Swami Ramanand Tirtha, then Govind Bhai Shroff was there, Ananta Bhalera was there, Ashatai Wagmare was there. These were the people who had made a valuable contribution in the struggle for liberation of Hyderabad. Even the students had participated in the struggle for liberation of Hyderabad. Not only this, there were many other people like Ved Prakash, Shamlal, Govind Pansare, Bahirji Shinde, Sridhar Vartak, Janardhan Mama, Soebullah Khan. Okay, these were the many people who had lost their life. We can say they embraced martyrdom. Okay, they had lost their life, they had sacrificed their life for the liberation of Hyderabad. This shows that Marathwada was also having a lion's share in the liberation of Hyderabad. Okay, so we can say that Marathwada was not behind in the liberation of Hyderabad. They were totally in full support of the liberation of Hyderabad. Okay children, so this was the contribution of Marathwada in the struggle for liberation of Hyderabad. Now the next thing, here you can see the picture of Ananta Bhalera, and Ashatai Wagmare, whose contribution was there in this struggle. Now here you can see the picture of Sohaibullah Khan, who was murdered over here, who had sacrificed his life. Okay, and here you can see the picture of Sridhar Vartak also. Okay, he had also sacrificed his life. Okay, you can see over here Sohaibullah Khan, something is written by the side over here. What is that? Conspiracy hatched by MIM leader Qasim Rizvi. Okay, in February 1948. Rizvi enters the job of killing Shoaib Khan to Sohaibullah Khan to Razakar activist Khader Asir in May 1948. Weapons procured on August 13. Killers lay in wait on August 21, but Sohaibullah did not turn up at office. Sohaibullah was waylaid on August 22, his right hand chopped off and later shot at. Sohaibullah's relative Ismail's hand was also chopped off. Okay, this was the condition, we can say, of Sohaibullah Khan, where just for the liberation of Hyderabad. Yes, so at last, so 17 September is celebrated as Marathwada Mukti Din in the Marathwada to commemorate the struggle of liberation of Hyderabad. As I had told you first only that Marathwada was not included in Free India because it was a part of Hyderabad. Okay, so on 15th August 1947, Marathwada did not get independence. Okay, they got their independence on 17th September 1948. After the inspiring struggle of the people in this region was included in independent India in the year 1948. Okay, so Marathwada also got its freedom along with Hyderabad. Now the next thing what we are going to learn is about the state of Kashmir. Okay, as you all know, the Kashmir was also a princely state. Now the ruler of Kashmir, that is Hari Singh, he decided that he is going to remain independent. Okay, but Pakistan always intended to secure the merger of Kashmir with Pakistan only. They wanted Kashmir by hook and by crook. Okay, for that reason they even tried to pressurize Hari Singh. Okay, even they sent some intruders over there to attack over Kashmir in October 1947. So ways and means they tried out to take Kashmir into Pakistan. So at last Hari Singh, he signed instrument of accession with India so that he can get a security from India. Okay, accordingly Indian army was sent for defense of Kashmir. Okay, in which the Indian army won back a major portion of Kashmir, but some part remained in the hands of in the positions of Pakistan only. That means some part of Kashmir went into Pakistan. Okay, while the major part of Kashmir was included in India. Okay, so this is how we can say Kashmir also became a part of India, that is merged with India. Here you can see the picture of Hari Singh, who was the ruler of Kashmir. Next is the merger of the French colonies. As I had told you, the Britishers had gone from India, but there were still some colonies like the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese. They still were there in India and they were having some part of India still under them. Okay, the parts of India which they had not got their freedom till now. Okay, so even after the independence of India, the regions of Chandranagar, Puducherry, Karaikal, Mahe, Yanam, these were the states, we can say, these were the places which were in the possessions of the French only till now, and they were not at all free. So the Indian natives there were eager to merge with India. Naturally the full country was free now, and these only states were there under the French colonies. Okay, so they also wanted to merge with India and they also wanted to be free. So the Indian government demanded that the French should hand over their territories. Directly the Indian government warned the French that hand over the territories and leave India. Okay, so in 1949, what did France did? France held a plebiscite in Chandranagar. Now what is the meaning of plebiscite over here? Plebiscite is we can say a vote. Okay, voting had taken place. Okay, in which the people voted for India. Okay, so Chandranagar was handed over to India. After Chandranagar was handed over to India, even the other territories, they were also handed over to the government of India, and the French also left India. Okay. Next is struggle for liberation of Goa. Now here, as I had told you first only, the Britishers had gone. Now the French and the Portuguese were there still. Okay. Now the Portuguese were not at all ready to leave the territories in India. Okay, they denied totally. After giving a warning by the after they were given the warning by the Indian government, then also they were not ready to hand over the territories under their position. So Indians had to struggle very hard for securing these territories. Okay, one person was Dr. T.B. Cunha, who was in the forefront of this struggle. Okay, he tried ways and means, okay, so that Goa will be the territories under Portuguese will be liberated, mainly Goa. He brought about an awakening also among the people against the Portuguese government. Okay, he established the Goa Congress Committee. What was the objective behind this Goa Congress Committee? That is building struggle against the Portuguese. So, in 1945, Dr. Cunha founded the Goa Youth League in Mumbai. Okay. He tried, here we can see how much he struggled hard for the liberation of Goa. Here you can see the picture of Dr. T.B. Cunha on the left hand side, and on the right hand side Ram Manohar Lohia, who was also the freedom struggler of Goa. In 1946 he went to Goa and violated the ban on public speech. A ban was put on the Portuguese by the Portuguese that there will be no public meetings and all. Okay, and he violated that ban and he gave a public speech. For this he was sentenced to 8 years of imprisonment. During that time only, in 1946, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia also, he started a satyagraha for liberation of Goa. Now, he also violated the ban and he delivered a public speech at Madgaon in Goa, for which he was deported. What is the meaning of deported over here, children? He was removed from that place. Okay, he was banned from coming to that place. That is called as deported. Okay, children, I hope you all have understood till here. So, at the same time, the Azad Gomantak Dal was founded to liberate Portuguese colonies of Dadra and Nagar Haveli in Gujarat. So the Azad Gomantak, the same time when this Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia had given the speech and he was deported, at that time only the Azad Gomantak Dal was also founded just to liberate the Portuguese colonies which were there under Portuguese rule, or that is Dadra and Nagar Haveli, which is in Gujarat. Okay, on 2nd August 1954, the youths of Azad Gomantak Dal, by making an armed attack, they attacked over these places of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and they liberated these territories from under the Portuguese rule. Now, Vishwanath Lavande, Rajabhau Wakankar, Sudhir Phadke, Nanasaheb Kazrekar and others also had taken part in this attack. Okay, so here the violence had come into being. Okay, with the use of violence only they could liberate these places, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, from the Portuguese rule. In 1954, Goa Mukti Samiti was formed. Okay, now again one more organization was formed, that is the Goa Mukti Samiti. Okay, and this Samiti which was formed, that Samiti sent out many batches of satyagrahis to Goa from Maharashtra. And one such batch was N.G. Gore, Senapati Bapad, Peter Alvarez, Mahadev Shastri Joshi and his wife Sudhatai. Okay, so one such group was this. Okay, Mohan Ranade was an aggressive leader in the struggle for liberation of Goa. So among these people, those who were there, Mohan Ranade was the most aggressive leader. The Portuguese rulers committed unlimited tyranny and atrocities on the satyagrahis. The Satyagrahis, those who were coming from Maharashtra just to liberate Goa, they were also tortured, we can say, or harassed by the Portuguese. Okay, they committed unlimited tyranny and atrocities on the Satyagrahis. Due to this, the public opinion had become more infuriated. Okay, so the struggle for liberation of Goa took a fierce form now. Okay, because of this atrocities that the Portuguese were doing on this people, Satyagrahis, what had happened now? The liberation of Goa had taken a fierce form. The Indian government tried hard to negotiate with the Portuguese government. Okay, the Indian government now tried hard because they came to know that it is going to take a fierce form now. Okay, it is going to be more worst. For that reason, what the Indian government started doing? They started negotiating with the Portuguese government to surrender. But the Portuguese were not ready to listen only. So at the end, the Indian government had to take a decision to use military force against the Portuguese. So in December 1961, the Indian army entered Goa in a short period of time. Okay, when the Indian army entered into Goa, within a short period of time only, you can say, the Portuguese army surrendered. Okay, so at last on 19 December 1961, Goa was liberated from the Portuguese dominion. At last Goa was liberated in the year 1961. India had got freedom in 1947, and after so many years, now Goa was liberated. Imperialism was completely rooted out from the Indian soil now. And India's freedom struggle was truly fulfilled till the end. Okay, at last the full country was free. Okay children, so I hope you all have understood this lesson very well. So all the princely states and all the colonies, all the states which were there under the colonies, all were liberated, and this is how India struggled hard to liberate India fully. Okay, so that's all about this lesson children. The remaining part, we can say, the next lesson, in the next lecture we can start a new lesson. Till then, thank you children.